Inventor, businessman, master spy, Sir William Samuel Stephenson was many things. In the history book, he's known as Intrepid, one of the most enigmatic and influential figures in the Second World War. And wouldn't you know, he was born right here in Winnipeg. And on this Remembrance Day, we are joined in studio by Parkin and Dwight MacAulay, current and past president of the Intrepid Society, a nonprofit dedicated to honoring and sustaining his memory. Gentlemen, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having us.
I was reading this lad's history, and wow, it's incredible. If one of you could give, if possible, a bit of a Coles Notes version for folks, just to give them a taste of who this man was.
Yeah, absolutely. Stephenson was born in January of 1896. He was orphaned at age 4 and ended up being adopted by Stephenson family. His actual original name was William Stanger. And only finished grade 6 in school, then went on to an absolutely amazing career in business and ultimately playing an absolutely pivotal role in the Allied victory in the Second World War, largely as a result of his establishing British security coordination in New York City, the Rockefeller Center, where they coordinated all kinds of espionage and counter-espionage activities around the world. So just an incredible achievement, humble boy from the prairies.
Mm-hmm. Dwight, to me this sounds a lot like James Bond, and it's rumored that this is one of the inspiration for 007.
We've always claimed that, and I think it's true. Really, Ian Fleming, who's of course the author of the James Bond novels, was a friend of Sir William Stephenson's. They both were neighbors, in fact, at one point after the war. Ian Fleming basically worked for Sir William Stephenson doing his espionage and so on. And so they became neighbors after the war. They both had an affinity for large martinis, shaken, not stirred. Also, Ian Fleming loved Sir William's admiration for gadgets and so on. My take on James Bond is this. And you can go back to Ian Fleming's own words, but Ian Fleming worked for Sir William Stephenson, so here's the author of the James Bond. Now, Sir William Stephenson didn't look like Roger Moore or Pierce Brosnan or Sean Connery.
Few of us do.
His name was actually Little Bill. He wasn't that big, and he was kind of a bit on the round side. But also in that mix was a gentleman who became a very famous movie star, Cary Grant. And I think Ian Fleming gave James Bond the adventures of Sir William Stephenson, sort of, and gave him the looks of the movie star, Cary Grant. In fact, Cary Grant was asked to be the first James Bond. But when asked about who was James Bond, Ian Fleming often said, James Bond is a romanticized version of a spy. The real deal is William Stephenson.
He's Intrepid.
Is Intrepid.
So this is a story I think everyone should know all about. And Alan, this is what the Intrepid Society is all about, right? Is keeping their memory alive.
Yeah, exactly.
So what kind of work do you do to do that?
Well, starting off, we have regular get-togethers, guest speakers, sometimes guest lunches. We have a book club where the focus is, and a movie club, by the way, that's focused on espionage, code breaking, all these type of the resistance in occupied Europe, for example. All in the vein of the type of thing Stephenson was involved with. He engineered some amazing escapades when he was the director of British Security Coordination, and not the least of which was helping get America into the war. They fought tooth and nail against the isolationists, because 9 out of 10 Americans at the time, the start of the war, did not want to be part of the Second World War or having memories of the First World War, but his organization succeeded in, through various means, getting the U.S. involved in the war.
Well, was he not kind of a go-between between Churchill and Roosevelt, is what I read?
He was, yeah. He was a confidant of both of them, actually. He and Ernest Cuneo, who was another guy that figured in the formula. They were regular contacts with. They also had a station at, I don't know if you mentioned about Camp X, that was established by Stephenson on the shores of Lake Ontario near Whitby. They had a communication system called Hydra that they used to communicate regularly with Churchill.
This is the tip of the iceberg. So folks are interested in learning more. How can they get in touch with the Intrepid Society? Yeah,
easy. Just Google Intrepid Society, and they'll hit our website. Fantastic website. Tons of information about Sir William and his life, and other resources as well, including various books that we recommend about Stephenson and the whole intelligence system.
Wonderful. Gentlemen, thanks for being with us and keeping Sir William Stephenson's memory alive.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.